welcome to Vertical episode number 2 of
Brutal Battle.
These episodes will not happen often at all. It'd be nice if I can do, or if we can do one once a year, if people remember, or maybe you don't remember. And if you don't, you can go back and find it on our website or through archive.org. The first Vertical was Old Stock, North Coast. Sorry, I haven't even started to drink yet. North Coast Brewing's Old Stock. We did a bunch of those for the Vertical. This is our second Vertical. We have some beers for another Vertical, but after that, we don't have anything. But, maybe we'll come across something. We're not actively working on anything at the moment, but maybe we'll start. I don't know. We'll find out. But at any rate, these are rare episodes, so enjoy them when they pop up. Very infrequently, but when they pop up. There's a disclaimer with this episode, though. These beers we're doing, Bourbon County by Goose Island. Obviously, Bourbon County is an AB InBev company now. They were purchased, I don't even remember when. It's been a while. Many years ago, they were purchased by AB InBev. I think they were the first craft brewery to get bought out by them. And we do not support AB InBev products anymore. For a while, we were against AB InBev, and for the most part, wouldn't purchase any of their stuff, but we were buying some Bourbon County whenever it came out, because it was like this big event thing, and we were like, just a little money here or there is fine. But then in 2016, when Bourbon County was available, we were like, you know what? We're just going to say 100% we're out on AB InBev, and we don't want to give them even a cent. So our most recent Bourbon County we're going to have is the first beer we're going to try, which is the 2015. So we have a 2015, a 2014, and a 2013, and then an extra special beer that we're just throwing in that we'll talk about when we get to it. So this is our Vertical. It's just 3 years in a row. So we're at 5 years, 6 years, and 7 years, and we just want to kind of look at how have these aged, and is any one of them better. Now, another disclaimer with this is that the 2015 vintage of this beer apparently had a lot of bottles that were infected. So much so that they had done a recall, but I believe in order to do the recall, you had to be close to Goose Island, and we live in Maryland, so not even possible. But I do remember when it was fresh, trying some of it, no problem at that point. But there's been time, so maybe it's an issue now. So,
okay, well, let's get into it and find out.
Since I talked for so long, people were probably like, is Rebecca even there?
No, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you're here. So
I'm still here.
Another thing to note is the bottle for 2015 is larger than the other bottles, because 2015 is the first year that they went to a different packaging format for the Bourbon County bottles. This is a 16.9 ounce bottle. All the ones prior to that were 12 ounce bottles. So just know that. And it looks very different too. So this is the 2015 vintage and the ABV, because all the ABVs are different slightly. The ABV on this one is 13.7% alcohol. So 5 years.
And this is the one you said could be infected.
Yes. 5 years on this one. I mean, it's totally possible that I pour this and they're like, nope, totally good. There you go. Should have poured even less for you. But you're a soldier.
It's dark.
Yeah. I mean, we may not excuse me, we may not say much about the coloration on these after the first one, because they may look similar, but if we see some differences, we'll talk about those differences. Super dark, yeah, very brown around the edges. No carbonation. Even when I was pouring it, nothing. When you swirl it up in the glass, plenty of legs coming down the side. Looks quite viscous, kind of syrupy. And when I was pouring it, it was looking syrupy too. When you really swirl it up, you can see some unbelievably small bubbles forming on the top.
Yeah.
But for the most part, there's
not many.
Yeah. All right, so smell. Let's talk about the aroma here.
Getting a lot of raisin.
Yeah, there's a lot of raisin. But I'm also getting caramel mixing in with the raisin, and oak, and some vanilla as well.
And I'm perceiving the booze.
Yeah. The booze is definitely smelling a little hot. It's astringent as well. It's definitely coming through. I feel like that kind of happens a lot with higher ABV beers. As you let them age for multiple years, that booze starts to show up more and more as the other aromas and flavors end up being downplayed over time. But yeah, you're right about a lot of raisin. Yeah, there's a lot of raisin, but I do get a good amount of caramel, vanilla, and that oak.
Yeah. It smells good, though.
It does smell good. It smells like all those aromas are kind of folding into one another quite nicely. So, yeah.
Wow. It tastes exactly like it smells.
It does.
Raisin, caramel, vanilla.
Also with a little bit of a dark chocolate.
I was just going to say, I think there's some chocolate in there.
And a little bit of a coffee note on the finish, in my opinion.
I'm not getting the coffee.
It's like, it's very, very subtle. And it's at the very end as it kind of lingers on your tongue.
I'm getting a lot more caramel. The caramel is really building in this.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's got a sweetness that's kind of coming along with that caramel, but it's not too sweet. It's a very nice sweetness. This is tasting very good.
Yeah, it is very good.
Obviously not infected. This bottle aged just fine. No actual problems with it. This is a very nice beer. Mm-hmm. That tastes great. But yeah, there's so much caramel coming through in that. Are you getting the wood? Are you getting the vanilla?
I am getting some wood. I am getting the vanilla.
The vanilla's... I don't think the vanilla's as strong in the flavor as it is in the aroma, but it's definitely there, and you know it. Mm-hmm. The wood is probably about the same level as in the aroma, I'd say. It's definitely there. There is an astringent finish to it, for sure, but it's not too much, because the other flavors are robust enough to hold up to that.
I thought it was going to be more... I thought I was going to be able to perceive more of the booze than I really am, though. I think it's not over the top.
Well, I think that caramelly sweetness is really helping to keep it at bay. That's kind of my feeling about it. That's good. It tastes really good, in my opinion. It tastes great. And I'm very happy that when we went from the aroma to the taste of it, that raisin note was a lot lower than what it was in the nose, which I'm happy with because I'm fine with a raisin flavor in my beer, but I don't want a lot of it.
Right.
And the way it was smelling, it smelled like there was going to be a lot more than there was.
I mean, I think there's still a decent amount of raisin in the taste, but
not in comparison to the aroma.
Right.
Okay. So, hey, great start.
2014.
Awesome. Oh, and let me just say real quick, if people are like, why is Carlin not giving money? Well, are Carlin and Rebecca not giving money to AB InBev? I know they've kind of changed their model of how they operate, supposedly, in quotation marks. But there was a time when they tried to kill the craft beer industry instead of doing what they've been doing, which is buying craft breweries and then making money that way. What they actually wanted to do is keep craft beer from being a thing so that they could just keep selling their garbage beer and not have to get into craft beer. Obviously, that didn't work, but in the early stages, they did stuff like... The main thing is they tried to kill Dogfish Head early on with litigation, just like real stupid litigation to kill him with lawyer fees and court fees. So it was real disgusting practice of theirs, and it was anti-craft beer. So I've always associated AB InBev with being anti-craft beer. So I will never change on that thought. So if there are people who feel differently right now because, hey, they operate in a different way, yeah, I mean, you might be right. Maybe they continue to operate in a different way. It's just my, personal thing. Anyway, that being said, let's move on to the 2014 vintage of Bourbon County, which is the 6-year-old one. First one was a 5-year. This is a 6-year. And the ABV on this one is, where is it on the front? 13.8. So the 2015 was 13.7. This is 0.1 higher at 13.8, so not a big difference. And once again, like I said, this one was the last year they did the Bourbon County in 12-ounce bottles. So, here we go. 2014. Ooh, I should pour you first.
And it looks dark.
Does it look the same as the other one?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, I can't perceive a difference.
Yeah, I'll look at it in the light and kind of see around the edges if it's looking a little different, but No, I mean, it's basically the same. Got a little bit of carbonation showing up on the pour. And when I swirl it up, actually, it's creating some, like, medium-sized bubbles. So there's a little bit of a carbonation going on there. That's interesting. Didn't expect that. Yep, swirling it up, good amount of legs. Looks pretty viscous.
It smells much different.
Oh, yeah, it does. What are you getting?
I'm getting a lot more chocolate.
Yeah, I don't get... Like, I get a slight raisin, but I don't get much raisin at all, honestly. It's there. There's a little bit. But, yeah, you're totally right. It's more chocolate-driven. There's a little bit of kind of like a roasty, ashy note in the nose as well.
And then I'm getting the caramel.
Yep, the caramel's there. The vanilla is also there. I actually feel like the vanilla is higher perception-wise than the caramel is.
I feel like the caramel is. I mean, it smells good.
This smells... Well, and here's the other thing. This versus the 2015, I'm not smelling the booze as much.
No, I'm not either.
In fact, it's so low that I would think that it's not the 13.8% that it is. That's interesting. Yeah, that booze is really well hidden with this nose. Okay, going in. I think it tastes less complex.
It does. It's almost a little watery.
Yeah, the mouthfeel kind of does trail off at the end of it. Like you get, it's kind of robust up front, but then it just really thins out kind of quick and does finish kind of, especially more watery than you would assume. I'm getting a good amount of the caramel. There's a lot of that kind of roasty ashiness lingering after each sip that I was talking about in the nose. I perceive the alcohol a lot more than I thought I would. It's got this hotness in the back of my throat. I think flavor-wise, it's less complex than the 2015 is.
Agreed.
But, that said, it still tastes pretty good.
It's still a good beer.
Getting a little bit of that raisin. I am getting the dark chocolate in the flavor. I do think it is, much like the aroma, pretty dark chocolate driven in the flavor, and that's pretty good. I just think at the moment I prefer the 2015.
Yeah, I do too.
Currently. There's a little bit of a coffee. There's like a medium amount of bitterness that just lingers after each sip. So yeah, still good. I still enjoy it.
Yeah, it's still, agreed.
But of the
2015
two,
is better though.
Yes, no, definitely. And of the two, I would drink this one first. Because, you save the best for last type deal. Still good. At 6 years as well, All right, and then we go on to the 7-year-old.
And I guess we should have said what Bourbon County is.
I think most people know, but yeah, we probably should have.
It's a stout aged in bourbon barrels.
Yeah, very simple. If people don't know, and you can do research on it, Bourbon County is the beer that put barrel-aged beers on the map. Like, that was the beginning of what popularized putting craft beer in barrels. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, so this is the 7-year-old one. This is the 2013. You got it. And the ABV on this one is 14.9. So a big jump up. This is a big jump up. So that's interesting. There's only like a 0.1% alcohol difference between 2014 and 15. But from 2013 to 14...
It's like a percentage.
1.1% difference. That's, in my opinion, that's pretty significant. All right, here we go. 2013. I do remember that I remember having the 2013 pretty fresh and thinking it was really good. It was very kind of like chocolate milk-esque. Oh, pour you first. Sorry. I always should pour you first just because you're my partner.
You're cute.
Okay.
I think it looks exactly the same.
It looks exactly the same.
I can't perceive a difference.
I think it looks thinner around the edges a little bit. It's like a little bit lighter brown, actually, than the last two. Maybe that's because of the time in the bottle. No carbonation. Well, when I swirl it up, kind of like the 2014, when I swirl it up, I get a little bit of bubbles showing up.
Not many, though.
But less than the 2014, and that wasn't a whole lot. Again... looking real viscous when it gets swirled up with the legs. It looks like the legs on the sides of the glass are coming down slower than the other two. Yeah, because it's higher ABV. It makes sense. Okay, aroma.
I'm getting a lot of wood.
Yeah, it is very woody, and
most woody.
There's a real sweetness to the smell.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say wood and sweet.
And it's not, it's weird because it's not like it's like a caramel sweetness or, it's like a chocolate sweetness. It's just like a sugar sweetness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I can't perceive the caramel notes that we were getting in the other two. I'm not perceiving in this one.
I get it, but it's very low. I also get vanilla, also very low, but more than the caramel is in this. But yeah, lots of wood to it.
I'm perceiving the booze.
Yeah, the booze is there for sure. It's smelling a bit astringent because of that. I am getting the slightest bit of a dark chocolate the more I smell it. But yeah, the nose is very subdued in comparison to the 2014 and 2015. Yeah, I'm smelling so much more of that alcohol.
You
went in?
I went in. Definitely perceive the most alcohol.
Well, it's much higher.
And definitely perceiving the most sweetness.
Yeah.
But overall, it's lacking in flavor. It's kind of just that one sweetness. One note of sweetness.
So there's a good amount of astringency on the finish because of that higher alcohol and just, aging like that. I am perceiving the wood quite a bit. Much like in the aroma, it is coming through a good amount in the flavor, but not initially. When you first sip it, it's just like this malt sweetness, and then it goes to, I get like a little bit of an ashiness, and then it's this like a swelling up in my mouth of that oak that's becoming known.
This is my least favorite.
The wood is almost playing as like it's making me feel like I'm getting a slight nuttiness out of the beer as well. Like this very slight nutty note. That's interesting. Once again, it's not bad. It's still pretty good. It's also thin. It's interesting because it's like syrupy and it's astringent, but it's thin at the same time. Yeah. It's very interesting. Okay.
What else are you thinking?
A little leather, actually.
Oh.
Just like a slight leather on the finish when I took a bigger sip. Which, I'm not complaining about that. Like, I'm fine with a leathery note in beer. Still, once again, decent, but the first two were better. All right, so those were all the regular bourbon counties. So now we're moving to the one that we didn't announce what it is. This is the special extra little throw-in. And what is that, Rebecca?
The barley wine ale. So malt beverage aged in bourbon barrels.
I believe this is also from 2013. I think it's on the back. On the label. What does it say?
2013, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the barley wine. So this is like our little extra. So a 7-year-old Bourbon County barley wine. I remember also having this one pretty fresh and thinking it was really good. We don't have barley wines that much on the show.
I don't really like barley wines.
Yeah. But maybe it's time to, revisit that.
I'm going to try one.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean after this. Just in general, just have some more barley wine on the show. Maybe I could even set you up with a blind episode of barley wine.
Yuck.
We'd have to do that in installments, though. Wouldn't be all at once. Okay.
So this is definitely more brown, more see-through, a little reddish.
Yeah, you definitely know it's barley wine. Brownish, reddish, orange around the edges. You can see through it even though it's murky. Definitely got some legs to it. What was the ABV, did you say?
Oh, I didn't say.
Oh, I thought you did. I think it's a 13. No, this is the lowest. It's at 12-something, which is interesting.
12.1.
Okay, 12.1. Got it. That's interesting because I don't know why, but I would just assume that a barrel-aged barley wine would be higher in ABV than a stout. Talk about sweetness.
Yeah, it smells like fruitcake.
Yeah, there is a fruity smell to it. I agree.
Cake, like candied fruit, sweet.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like the toffee caramel.
Good, yeah, definitely good call on the toffee. Caramel for sure. There is a nice raisin poking through quite a bit. There's something else. There is a wood. I'm definitely getting the wood in there as well. It's a little dialed back from what we were getting with the 2013 Bourbon County, though. The stout. It smells good, though. Like, it smells light. Relatively light.
It does.
I like that smell. It smells like it could be really good.
So woody.
Ooh. Is it kind of floral tasting to you?
I don't know. There's citrus? There's some weird notes.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I get orange.
Yeah, I could see that.
I legit get like candied orange in this. That's weird. Like I wouldn't expect to, and maybe part of that is the flavors of the other beers kind of playing on this one, but
I don't really know if I like this.
I do. I'm getting the wood for sure. There's a lot of that malty sweetness going on in there. There's some of the caramel. There's definitely a raisin to it. But I think your initial assessment of like a fruit cake is pretty accurate for the flavor. And I think that's why I'm getting like a candied orange to it. It is fruit cakey, which you would not assume for a bourbon barrel aged barley wine. It's very odd, but I think it's good. I like it. And it's light at the same time.
It is very light.
At 12 point something, it's light. It's weird to say, but... And you can perceive the booze, but I don't think as much as I would assume we were going to. Or at least I was going to.
Yeah.
I can only speak for myself on that.
It doesn't taste what it is, for sure. There's a bitterness on it, too.
Yeah, it does finish with an interesting bitterness, which I feel like is rolling into that oaky, woody flavor. So I'm cool with it. I like that.
I don't like it.
But I think that the flavor can probably be pretty well summed up with what you said in the beginning, like a mixture of two of the things. It's like a fruit cake with toffee, kind of. I like it, though. I think it's good. I think all these are good. Different degrees, and that becomes very clear when you taste them like this, side to side to side. I don't know, if we would do these on separate nights, I'm not sure it would be as easy to tell the differences. Say you drink one this week and one next week.
Oh, yeah.
You would be like, do they taste different? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why doing it like this for an episode is important, so that we can be like, okay, we got this and this one just right now. So this, in contrast, doesn't have this, it does have this. So yeah, these are always fun. These are always interesting. So I would say that if people out there are listening and they're like, man, I'd really like some more vertical episodes, we only have enough for one more, and it's not even like a full vertical. It's kind of one where it's like, it's just older beers of the same type. It's not even like this, like 5, 6, and 7. I think it's like 5, 7, and 8 or something, like we're missing a year or something. But we're still going to do it. But if you guys want us to do more of these, maybe help out and figure out a way to get us some of these verticals, maybe. I do have a friend who's trying to figure out what to do with a Dark Lord vertical of like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
But no, I wouldn't. First of all, I wouldn't ask him for that because of how much that would cost. Initially buying all of that and just having it around, but also they're large bottles, like they're 22 ounces.
Oh my gosh,
so
that would kill us.
Yeah, exactly. You have to share those with people, and I think that's his intention. Is he's going to have like when pandemic's not happening, have a bunch of people get together and just try through all of them, which would be awesome.
For that to happen.
Yeah. Well, you're assuming we would be invited.
Well, no, I'm just in general. Just in general, recently
just
I said.
Hear?
I said I can't wait till we
together.
We can get together with people again and share big bottles.
Well, to that specifically, though, what I was talking about, that Dark Lord, is I would love to hear from him, Matt Harvey, who's sent us beer before. I'd love to hear what he has to say about once he finally cracks that open. Like, what was the best vintage? How were they tasting? He's good at beer. He knows this stuff, so I would trust what he has to say, picking it apart. But yeah, this was cool. So I think we're probably going to be on the same page, but what are your thoughts on ranking-wise? The 2015, your favorite, then the 2014, then the 2013, then the barley wine.
Yep.
I think I'm definitely 2015 is my favorite, then the 2014. I think I like the 2013 barley wine more than the regular Bourbon County of 2013, though.
Okay.
So I'd kind of move those, but yeah. But yeah, those are my thoughts. So, cool. This is always fun. Should I tease what the other one we have is?
Sure.
It's Founders, their Backwoods Bastard. So I have 3 of those. And like I said, it's not like a true vertical as in, 5, 6, 7. I believe we have a year skipped somewhere in there. But I'd have to look at it closer. But maybe we'll just put that out next year. Maybe we'll shoot to try and do one once a year, and then that'll give us the ability to look for other verticals. It'll give us some time, or even create our own verticals. We could do that too. But yeah, we'll figure it out. But this was fun. Social media on Instagram, we are
Brutal Battle Podcast.
And that's pretty much all we're doing with social media these days. Do us a favor and rate us and review us on whatever podcatcher you listen to this through. And the biggest thing being word of mouth. We'd appreciate that. Also, like I kind of talked about in the beginning of this, for back episodes, iTunes only holds the last 50 episodes. So if you want to go back even further, because we've done a lot, probably closing in on about 400 episodes or so now, go to archive.org and search Brutal Battle, or just go to the website, brutalbattle.com. And then if you have feedback, ideas, any of that stuff, brutalbattlepodcast@gmail.com. But thank you so much for checking this out. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. And until next time,
keep it brutal.
I feel so